believe there are some detentions that possibly will be happening. There are some women leaders of the BJP that are being manhandled by the police. This is going to get grave because I don't see any women police officers there.
Well, there are women police officials, but they are present at different locations. However, the amount of women police officials that were required over here, that definitely cannot be seen here. In fact, mostly male police officials and male officials of the CRPF can be seen over here. In fact, few leaders have already been detained by the police. In fact, if I could just show you in the visuals over here, ask my camera person Vikas Rawat to show you in the visuals over here, that the Delhi BJP president has now been detained. He has now been taken into this car by the police, and this vehicle is trying to drive away. However, the vehicle is being stopped by the workers of the Bharatiya Janata Party. They are not allowing this vehicle to move from here. So Delhi BJP President Vijay Saxena has now been detained by the Delhi police, and he is being taken away from here. So yes, the Delhi police trying its absolutely best to make sure that law and order situation remains under control. But yes, these BJP workers are actually very, very adamant and are absolutely not ready to listen to the police, especially in front of the media cameras that are present over here. The workers are also trying to put this message across, trying to reverberate this message that the BJP is an opposition over here and will continue to protest against the Aam Aadmi parties. But yes, it remains to be seen at this point in time as to how much of this message would actually be reverberated amongst the people over here. But yes, the situation, the Delhi police at this point is trying to control the situation. They are dragging these BJP workers from the spot. They are trying to remove him from the spot because the vehicle in which the BJP president is present right now, that vehicle is not being able to move from there because it has absolutely been surrounded by the workers of BJP. The Delhi police trying its absolute best to push the people away to make sure that this vehicle is allowed to move from here. So yes, it is now official that the BJP president has now been detained by the Delhi police and is taken away. However, if you see these visuals, the dramatic scenes unfolding out here in the national capital at ITO, where the BJP workers have now lied in front of the vehicle. They are not allowing that vehicle to move away from here. It's an absolute chaos situation for the Delhi police to handle at this point in time. They are trying to remove these people, but yes, these people are very, very adamant and are saying that they will not allow their president to be taken away from here until and unless they are allowed to reach the secretariat. So yes, the situation slowly spiraling out of hand for the Delhi police, and yes, it remains to be seen as to if the Delhi police would actually be able to control this situation. But yes, the amount of police force that is over here is definitely outnumbered by the number of protesters that are over here, and that is the reason why it is becoming an absolute nightmare for the Delhi police to maintain the situation, law and order situation over here. The vehicle is still not being allowed to move. The Delhi police is trying to clear the way for the vehicle so that the vehicle could be taken away. But yes, these workers are continuously standing in front of that vehicle in which Vijay Saxena is in right now. He is being taken away by the Delhi police. In fact, has been detained. Other leaders of the BJP have also been detained. These workers are still very, very adamant. They are lying on the ground just to put their point across. But yes, the president has now been taken away. The vehicle has started moving, and in fact, the police has now taken Vijay Saxena into custody and have now sped from the location in the national capital. So yes, now since the president has been detained, the protest would be called off in the next few minutes now, Griya.
Right, absolutely, Anshul. We have seen those dramatic visuals. Anshul, they're reporting live from that very location where this massive protest that's been called by members of the BJP is happening. Now that the detention of the Delhi BJP president has happened, the police has taken him away, there would be a scattering of the protesters that we are going to be seeing. The information that is exclusively being brought to you by my colleague Anshul, who's reporting live from this very ground. Anshul, how many people approximately who had gathered in the wake of these protests, and how many people when it comes to the police forces, considering you were talking about how the police was outnumbered clearly because of this large gathering?
So approximately 400 to 500 people had gathered over here, but yes, the police was also not sure about the number of officials that were needed to be present over here. There were several teams of the Delhi police and the Central Reserve Police Force deployed over here, but yes, those police officials were definitely outnumbered by the number of protesters who were actually present over here, and that is the reason why the Delhi police was not able to predict the magnanimity of this entire protest, and hence it became an absolute nightmare for the Delhi police to make sure that the protest ends at the earliest, especially at ITO. This is not an official place to protest because this is one of the busiest locations in the national capital, and hence the Delhi police has successfully now managed to make sure that the protest ends and the people of Delhi are not affected badly. But yes, these workers are still continuing with the sloganeering, and in the next few minutes they would be asked to leave from here.
Okay.
Now, since the president has been detained, it is in the next few minutes we are expecting this protest to come to an official end.
Anshul, going back to the revelations that had come about, there was one particular report that was also suggesting how the Delhi LG, Vinay Saxena, had highlighted discrepancies that were found in the initial probe. What was he talking about?
So yes, the initial probe, after the initial probe that happened, the preliminary investigation that happened in this case, the CBI, the investigating agencies, in fact, came to the fore and said that out of the number of people or the data that was stood upon, approximately 40% of the data was of political leaders, and which was absolutely not required and not allowed, and the requisite permissions were not taken. So this is the preliminary investigation has pointed towards this, and that is the reason why the LG has now asked the CBI to register an FIR into this matter, so that a deeper investigation could happen, after which we could expect the entire sequence of events or the manner in which the entire incident has unfolded. That would be clear once that investigation is carried out by the CBI. However, the CBI has not registered an official FIR in this entire matter. They have been asked to do it by the CBI, by the Lieutenant Governor. Now it remains to be seen as to how quickly can the CBI actually start its full-fledged investigation into this entire matter, so that the truth could come out, and all this drama, all this political drama that we are seeing unfolding on the streets of the national capital, that could come to an absolute end.
So Anshul, we are getting to know that this Facebook unit that we are talking about, which the BJP, of course, is claiming, since it was under the Vigilance Department, it was to snoop at certain political leaders and collect political intelligence. That's the allegation. What was found earlier, and that is what the Delhi LG is claiming, like you mentioned, 40% of that data was about political leaders. Are we talking about political leaders from the BJP? Is that the allegation? Is there any basis to this allegation? Has that been established, or we'd have to wait for the CBI investigation?
So at this point, all these are allegations. Nothing has been established by any investigating agencies at this point in time. All these are allegations that have initially been started from the house of the Lieutenant Governor. Now the Delhi police has gotten this ammunition to attack the Aam Aadmi Party, and that is the reason why we are seeing such huge drama that is unfolding on the streets of the national capital right now. So yes, all these are allegations. That is the reason why the Aam Aadmi Party is not taking these allegations very seriously at this point in time, and hence they have not come out with a rebuttal, because if you see, Arvind Kejriwal is one of the first persons to react on such allegations through Twitter, or Manish Sisodia actually himself comes out and rebuts to such allegations. But yes, none of them have come out and rebutted to any of these allegations. Once the investigation happens, it would be interesting to see as what comes out of that investigation, and if there are any truth on these allegations that have been put forth of
absolutely.
Of
and that's a very important point that you're mentioning, Anshul, that the Aam Aadmi Party, whether it is the Chief Minister, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, or his deputy, Mr. Manish Sisodia, haven't yet legitimized any of this protest that has spilled onto the ground. They are not willing